What I do get a lot, and I wouldn't say this, what I'm about to say is hate, but when I pull up places, if I'm actually driving, because I don't drive every day. I drive when I'm in between drivers.
Okay, gotcha.
So I do it on a as needed basis, or whatever, how I'm feeling. But I do get a lot. They're like, "What are you doing driving a truck? You too pretty to be driving."
And what do you say?
And what do I say? I'm coining this. Pretty people need money too. That's what I tell them.
That's right.
Pretty people need money too. I mean, unless you giving some money away, I didn't I didn't get that memo.
Let's go, man. We are back. Another episode of the Instincts PONDCast, where we teach you how to turn your trials and tribulations into celebrations. I am with Tova did it. Now, y'all don't know what that is, but that's her name. If you don't know it by now, write it down. Tova did it. The first thing we asked Tova is real simple on the Instincts PONDCast. If you had to choose one situation in life, we all have challenges, but what's the most challenging thing in life you've had to overcome, and how did you overcome it?
Well, I would have to say, being that the person that I am, a lot of things are actually not challenging.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and I don't mean to sound a certain way, but they really aren't. Most things I try to do, I'm able to needle it down and accomplish it, get it done. But I would say in the trucking industry, being a male-dominated industry, the challenges that I face are, people not being confident in me, thinking that I can actually do, what it is that needs to be done, whether or not I'm going to be successful, if I'm going to fold. When I am successful, they're looking at me kind of sideways like, oh, they don't want me to continue to succeed.
Really?
So, yeah, you got some haters, some people that are envious. I guess that comes with anything.
So it's safe to say the most challenging thing you deal with every day is being a young lady in a male-dominated industry.
That would be correct.
Okay, so let's talk about that first. Now, what we do, the format of the show, we start with that question.
Okay.
Then we take them to where you are, where your business, you up and running. So all the ladies watching need to be inspired and understand that no matter what a man tells you, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what you hear, you can still make it. So what do you do? Tell them what you do right now, the name of your company, and how they can find you.
Okay, well, my name is Tova Reeder. My company is TTR Enterprises, Inc. I am a 100% owned, woman-owned business, trucking company. In the metro Atlanta area, we specialize in flatbed freight.
Nice.
Yeah, around the southeastern region. Pretty much local drivers is what I have.
Okay.
Have 3 trucks.
Nice.
And yeah, right now I'm looking to do some expanding with leased on, and always looking for drivers.
Nice. Okay, so I tell you what. I heard you got an RV I can borrow. No, okay.
I definitely do.
We need to bring that out to Beane Acres so I can set the RV up out here, man. That's going to be cool.
Let's do it.
Look, I love this show because collabs be coming up like midstream. All right, so let's talk about this real quick. How did you get into it? Now, when I knew you, you were into cosmetology.
Correct.
You look the part, that's for sure.
Correct. I'm still into cosmetology.
Okay.
And I wear more than one hat.
Okay.
At all times, but I'm still into cosmetology, a hairdresser, and but I got into it by way of at the time when I was married.
Okay.
The guy that I was married to, his family was a trucking family. They were in the trucking industry.
Okay.
So with me being curious about things and wanting to learn more, and like, hey, well, let's do that. That looks like it's a good thing to be doing. Let's do that. So we kind of got it going, and I was doing mostly like the paperwork, the back end, the office, office
admin
tasks.
Okay.
Yeah, the admin things. And with me looking at it, I'm like, okay, if we're gonna be doing this, let me learn how to drive. I just want to know how to do everything. So I don't want to have a truck. And, some may go south. Anything can happen. So I just wanted to be prepared. So let me get my license. That way, if I need to move a truck, I won't be at someone else's mercy.
Gotcha.
Saying, hey.
Can you come do this?
Yeah, can you come do this? Or, hey, whatever the situation is, you need me.
Right.
So, hey, you can get stepping and I keep on rolling.
Okay. I love it. I love it.
So that's how I got into the actual driving part of it.
Well, your spirit has always been positive. Ever since I've known you, you've just always been like this. My question before we get into the trucking industry, common mistakes people make, we're going to talk to some people who want to own a truck, some things you've had to overcome getting it. How did you become so positive and optimistic? You answered the question by saying, look, Brian, I don't have a whole bunch of challenges because I'm going to get it done. Have you always been like this, or
Yes.
did you become that way?
I've always been like this. And that the question was kind of like, what challenge?
Wow.
I don't know what that's like, but
Right.
yeah, I just kind of decide that I'm going to do something and figure out how to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just kind of work through it, figure it out.
All right, so check this out. It's my job to tap into this.
Okay.
Since you have never had a challenge, I got to find one based
This
on
is about to be the challenge.
This interview is her challenge.
This is
Okay.
my challenge.
Okay, so I noticed you said the guy you were married to.
Correct.
That's past tense.
Past tense.
Did you have was something challenging there?
Yes, of course. Let's see, how can I put it?
We have challenges. We're gonna help somebody.
It was definitely a challenge at the time. I kind of was doing a little better than he was at the time, and certain things he may not have been used to. And then when you come into making a certain amount of money, more money, some people may not react a certain way, to making money, and it kind of changes the dynamic
of the
relationship. Yeah. So
okay. This is a great topic, Tova.
Yeah,
because before we
go.
even get into trucks, how does somebody as independent as yourself, you make great money, you got your own mind, you everything that you would think most guys would want, but guys seem to be intimidated. How do you overcome that and balance out this? Look, I'm independent, but I know how to be a young lady. I know how to, whatever you want to define as your role in a relationship. How do you overcome guys who are intimidated by your success?
Well, for me, and that's a thing that people can be intimidated by you or what you may have going on. But I don't try to convince anybody to not be intimidated. I think that if I intimidate you, then I'm not the one for you. I'm not trying to convince you to not be intimidated.
Darken your shine. Right.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to be, because that can be issues down the line. If someone feels intimidated or feels a certain way, like if I make you feel like that, then maybe you and I aren't supposed to be together like that.
Right. Do you find it happen? Does it happen a lot? Like initially, are they all of that? Then when they find out you're successful, they try to darken your shine, or do you find that most guys love the fact that you?
No, most guys or whatever, they love the fact of, I hustle, I grind, I do what I do.
Right. Okay.
So most people aren't intimidated by it that I'm aware of.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk to people who don't really understand how profitable getting your CDL or get the CDL is the license.
Correct.
But owning the actual truck, how does a person like yourself, how is the money actually made? Shipping? I've heard about logistics. Help me understand the different ways to get paid in the trucking business. You
can get paid several ways. The way that currently I'm getting paid, I have a truck. I have a trailer that I own, my truck and my trailer, which is a flatbed trailer.
Okay.
And I haul the freight for the shippers, whether it's direct shippers or brokers. But I haul mostly like landscaping and building materials.
Okay.
So that's what I haul. Anything that you can put on a flatbed, machinery, equipment, they pay me to take it from point A to point B, and that's how I get paid. Now, I could also get paid if I had maybe like a dispatch company where people would dispatch out the loads to other drivers.
Okay.
You could also get paid by leasing on trucks to your company.
You own the truck, but somebody else you hire a driver.
They could be an owner operator. They could own their own truck.
Okay.
And they just need someone to run up underneath their authority, their operating authority.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Right. So
right.
they would
be
running under your business, working under your name and under all your credentials and your business history.
Like a franchise.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
Correct.
Okay,
just
gotcha.
like that.
Okay.
So,
I was gonna say, is it similar to a barber? He doesn't have his own shop, but he's getting a percentage to the shop.
The owner.
The owner of the
Correct.
shop until he gets his own if he wants to.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
Correct.
Or more like a McDonald's. That sounds more like a McDonald's. I can own the truck, but I'm under the McDonald's franchise.
There you
I can
go.
own a McDonald's, but I'm under the McDonald's franchise.
Correct. And then I will get a percentage of their profit.
Are you there? Do you do that now?
Not yet,
Okay.
but soon too.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes,
Okay, gotcha.
soon too.
So it's a lot of different things. If I own a flatbed and you own a flatbed, what's the difference between me and you, but how does the client decide to go with you over me? What are some things that we can help people understand regarding getting business? How do you get business?
You get business by being on time shipping, making your deliveries on time, your pickups on time. So your performance, that would kind of be like if you have a satisfactory or unsatisfactory kind of rating. They have a website. Yeah, like anything.
Yeah.
There's somewhere they can go and say, hey, they're late all the time, or the freight, you want to get the freight to them undamaged.
Right.
You don't want to get it, some shipments get stolen and, all kind of crazy things.
Really?
Yeah, it can happen.
Has anything crazy happened to you yet? All the time.
Not all the time, but things do happen.
What's the craziest thing?
When we sold many, many years ago, my mom tried her hand in it. My sister tried her hand in it. They both had a truck. And my mom had this one driver. And, drivers, you got good ones, you got bad ones.
He wrecked?
Well, he didn't wreck, but he lost a load of lumber. So, when you see the interstate where they have the ramps, they have a sharp curve and it has the sign slow down and the arrow. And anyway, he went into the curve fast and
it spun off.
It didn't spin off, but like if you hit the brakes, the freight is going to keep going and object in motion is going to remain in motion.
Right.
So the lumber flew off and we were trying to salvage and not have an insurance claim. So that's one of those growing pains.
Right.
We were up in South Carolina, Tennessee somewhere, trying to get all the lumber up so she didn't have a claim. And he was less than a mile from the delivery point.
It was right there.
It was right there.
It's part of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, growing pains. But that's what makes you sharper, better. You have to go through the growing pains. You got to go through the bad drivers. You got to go through the claims, or you got to go through whatever. And then when you encounter it, it doesn't shake you so much.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It doesn't shake you so much. Like when I first started, everything was was stressed out, oh, what if this happens? What if this happens? You think about all these things that could happen.
Right.
And then once you go through a few things, you're like, okay, well, if this happens, this is what we do. If this happens, you call this. If you have a go-to.
That's right.
You have an out.
Well, let's talk to all entrepreneurs. We'll stop trucking for 1 second. Your positive attitude, your entrepreneurship for so many years, cosmetology, truck driving. Let's talk to all entrepreneurs. What would you say are 2 things every entrepreneur starting out needs to understand about going in business for themselves? You got to have a positive attitude. You got to be solution oriented. What, young ladies are watching right now saying, I think I want to own my own business. What should they understand?
You should understand that you're going to run into obstacles. And not 1, not 2, not 3. You're going to want to quit, but you just have to keep going. That's going to come, because I quit every week. I'm like, I'm done. I'm just, Lord
Not
Jesus.
every week.
Every week I quit.
Right.
I quit, but you got to say, hey, okay, this is, what I'm doing, and just keep on pushing.
What makes you come back? Okay, when you quit, I'm done this week. What makes you? The next sentence is it? Oh, but I got bills. What's the thing you say to yourself that make you come back?
So the thing that I say, because trucking is very profitable.
Okay.
That's why I got my license. Once we had drivers, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna give you this to go from here to here. And it's only going to take, I can do that.
Right.
I'm like, I can do that.
Right.
Oh, I can do that all day. I'm like, it's like taking candy from a baby, certain things. It's just all in your perspective. But what keeps me coming back is because right now there are plenty of things, plenty of ways to make money. But then right now I'm like, okay, so if I quit, what am I going to do to make this kind of money?
Right. Bounce you back to reality.
Right. No, I can't do that.
Right.
No, can't do that either. So
I'm back at it.
Yeah, here we go. I just keep grinding.
Keep grinding. So, male-dominated industry. young lady making it happen. Talk to me about what you experience when you say they hate on you or don't want you to do well. Is it covert? Is it blatant? Have you ever had somebody blatantly just like, what you doing here?
Well, I wouldn't say it wouldn't be, well, what I do get a lot, and I wouldn't say this, what I'm about to say is hate, but when I pull up places, if I'm actually driving, because I don't drive every day. I drive when I'm in between drivers.
Okay, gotcha.
So I do it on an as needed basis or, whatever, how I'm feeling. But I do get a lot. They're like, what are you doing driving a truck? You too pretty to be driving.
And what do you say?
And what do I say? I'm coining this. Pretty people need money too. That's what I tell them.
That's right.
Pretty people need money too. I mean, unless you giving some money away, I didn't I didn't get that memo. But because I'm pretty, what?
Right.
I can't do what because I look how?
Right.
Like,
because in essence, if you were a model, you wouldn't get that comment. So what really are they saying? What are they really saying when they say you too pretty?
Yeah,
what is
like,
this, a ugly industry?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Or which, I can take it either way. I try to take it as a compliment, like, you're the prettiest truck driver we've ever seen. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's good.
I can live with that. I
can deal with that.
Right.
So I get that a lot.
Do you have clients that are concerned because you're a female?
Nope.
I
don't think so.
Okay.
They may initially, but I don't think so. Because, I come in there and, for instance, like if you have maybe like backing up, we do a lot of things where you go on a job site, which is kind of like off-road. You see a lot of they call them van, but trucks that go to maybe like Home Depots and Walmarts and stuff. Okay. So sometimes when we're taking loads and freight, it's to some things that they're just building. So it may be off-road. It may be something back here that like you have to have some skills.
Really? That big 18-wheeler?
I've been in some crazy places with that truck.
Really? Everything, in other words, everything's not paved. Everything
is not paved, because everything has to start from some point, from a scratch.
Right.
I've been through, all kinds of things. So sometimes you have to show your driving skills, and they'll be like, oh, well, we had guys, it took them X amount of tries to do, whatever it is that if you can drive, you can drive.
Right.
And once they see you know how to do what you came to do.
Right.
What are we talking about?
Right, gotcha. Okay, I love it. So to a young lady who's thinking about getting in the trucking industry, give them some pros, give them some cons. The pros are obviously the money.
Correct.
Freedom and flexibility.
Correct.
Should you set your business up the right way? Any other pros for a young lady who feels like, I want to do it, but I'm nervous. How can we help them overcome? Give them another pro to help them overcome their fears.
Another pro to help you overcome your fear. It just gives you so much freedom and confidence. It gives you confidence to know, once you know what you know, it doesn't matter if you're a male or a female. Mm-hmm. And once you learn it, even if you're intimidated, once you learn it, you got it. Yeah. It's nothing else to be, it's routine. It's nothing to be worried about or threatened about. You can hold your head up with confidence saying, hey, I know how to do this. Right. Because I get with guys all the time, and I kind of leave them in the dust.
I was going to say, I would think it would give you a little edge. Because it's nothing like being underestimated, and then the respect level multiplies by 10 when they see that you're not a joke.
You're not to be played with.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she's serious. She just looks like that. She can do just what I can do, or she can do it better. Or because women, we're more detail oriented, so we're more likely, I think, to be more safe drivers.
Careful,
more careful and cautious drivers. That's just me.
Right.
I've heard that,
women tend to take it easy.
Yeah, we tend to take it easy.
Speaking of that, let's talk about careful and cautious real quick. To a person like myself or viewers watching, talk to us about when y'all on the highway and some things that we need to watch out and don't get in front of y'all and be slamming on the brakes because it's low. What would you like to tell us as drivers when you come?
You should have gave me this. I would have had a whole list of things.
Okay, so what should we...
Let us over. When you see the blinker blinking, don't try to not let us over, because if we want to get over...
We getting over.
We gonna win. So
hands
we're gonna
down.
win. Yeah, we're gonna win.
Let us
so
know.
just, I mean, a big thing to be a courteous driver.
Yeah.
You know, that's number one. Be a courteous driver and not to jump in front of a truck, because people, they jump in front of a truck.
Slam.
Yeah, and we can't slow down.
Right.
I'm sure you've heard it, but we cannot slow down. If someone jumps in front of you, it takes us much longer to slow down,
right.
because we have the truck plus, you know, whatever the freight is.
Yep.
It may be 80,000 pounds. You can't slow it down like you can slow down a car.
And just stop.
Right.
You know what I had a guy tell me one time, Tova, truck driver? He said, this is exactly what he said. He said, you get over in front of me and slam on the brakes,
It's going to be a
and
bad day.
depending on the load I got back here, now, I'm not saying this is right. He was like, the decision a lot of times is your car or this load, and this load is worth such and such. Your car worth such and such. But I was like, dang, he was just bold.
Yeah,
I was like, but the person's life, he was like, Brian, when people jump over in front of us, the load is gonna continue. I gotta
Just
protect.
like I
He was
just
like,
told you.
yeah, he was like, I gotta protect this load.
It's not even protecting the load so much. It's like the thing is, when you're in a truck, you don't want to get off the road in the truck. So I'm almost like him, like, I'm not swerving this truck off the road. I don't know what we're going to do, but it's not going to be me in the woods.
Right, absolutely.
It's
That's
not
even
going
worse.
to be me in the woods.
That's even
And,
worse.
you know, the load, he said, if he slams on brakes, like I said, the load flew off the truck. It, depending on what you have, it's still coming forward into that little cab.
In the cab that you in.
onto the driver.
Right.
So, yeah, you don't want that either, because somebody want to just a check or, you know, just careless driving or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
So, yeah, just be a courteous driver. That helps.
That helps.
If that starts,
The
that's where it
safety.
starts and ends. Like, if you're courteous, that will prevent a lot of other problems on the road.
Okay. So how did you go from, at some point you had a job?
No.
Never.
Brian, when did I have a job?
I don't, Tova, you never
In
had a
high
job.
school.
That's right, you never worked.
Brian, you really trying to put my business
No,
out here.
I'm just trying to remember. I'm trying to transition. Like,
Brian, what job you saw me at? Ever? No, I'm just playing. I'm playing with you. I had one job.
you've always been an entrepreneur.
Always, from 13. You know, I started doing hair when I was 13.
This is true. This I know.
I had a couple of jobs in the mall. And I did go to school. I have a degree in computer information systems.
Okay. Awesome.
So, and I did have one job with them.
One of them.
One job.
That was it.
Yeah, one job, and that was right when I was starting my trucking company after I, was divorced and everything.
Right.
And I did that for 1 year. And I sat in there like, I was so bored because I'm a busybody.
Yeah.
I'm a
Which
busybody. I like
entrepreneurs
to do a lot of things. So I was in there like at work thinking like, what else could I be doing? Like, I could be doing so many other things. Like,
Right.
I need to be able to move around. I need to be able to do this, do more than just what I'm doing, because the job, it didn't require that much. So.
Right. I always ask entrepreneurs, because it's funny, I was trying to transition you into how did you transition, but you're right. I'm like, I don't remember Tova having a job. I'm trying to get more people to understand the value of being an entrepreneur and not to be so afraid of it.
Right.
It seems like since you were 13 years old, you've always just had it in you.
That's the only thing I know. If I don't get it, it's not even a question. I
Right.
gotta get it. It's
Right.
more the statement.
Right.
I have to get it.
Right.
Whatever I want to get, I have to figure out how I'm gonna get it.
Yeah. And I think everybody watching who is either making a transition from a job to become an entrepreneur or thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, as long as you understand this, there's more responsibility with it. Nobody's going to tell you what to do every single day. You have to be your own boss. But the rewards of becoming that person are so worth it.
Right. It gives you, my thing is freedom. It's just overall freedom and confidence to do what I want to do and to be able to do it.
When you want to do it.
When you want to do it, how you want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's freedom.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't have to worry about, oh, can I get these days off, these 6 days, my holiday time, and
I'm
how
gonna
much are they
collapse
going to
it.
pay me or whatever,
Do you find that, could you date a person with a job? Do you think that, I mean, in other words, I mean.
Yes, I could. It
Well,
depends on what. Yes, I could.
Yeah, because
I could. Because I could. I mean, we would have different lifestyles and mindsets about things. If they're not an entrepreneur, they wouldn't think, the way
certain
that
things.
the way that I think about things. Because, like you said, some people have kind of like reservations or feel like they need the job. They
Security.
need it. For security.
Right.
So I could.
Right.
Definitely.
What kind of things you investing in? So as an entrepreneur, we got to look out for our futures. We don't have somebody to match our 401k and all that good stuff. What kind of investments you making?
So along the way, I invested in real estate. That I had rental properties and tenants in, and dealing with people. You got what comes along with that when you have renters and
Correct.
that kind of thing. So I've done that. I have IRAs.
Good.
I do that. I have some stocks.
Good. And I guess the reason I asked that question is because I want entrepreneurs to understand another advantage and disadvantage is the advantage is you got to learn how to make other investments so your future can be secure. Because whatever we're doing, we don't want to do for the rest of our lives if it's not passive income.
Correct.
But at the same time, it forces you to learn other industries so that your entrepreneurial mind can be used in more facets than just one.
Right.
But what do you say to the person that's trying to do like 15 things, Tova? These new cats. These new cats feel like they can drive the truck, have a barbershop, sell crypto, have a McDonald's. Nothing wrong with that stuff. But what do you say about people who are serialpreneurs? What's your philosophy on that?
I think that I won't say narrow it down to one, but you got to narrow it down, where you can
master something.
Be good at something, be very good at one thing at least.
Right.
Like you say, master at least one thing.
Right.
And then, maybe tap into a couple of other things, but not all over the board because you may be spreading yourself too thin. It's so much time in a day. And, I would say, kind of narrow it down to at least master one thing. And then once you do that, then kind of you can check into some other things and see how it works. But now I won't say super serial. Just
a lot of people try it and haven't mastered one thing. And I tell people their streams become puddles.
Right. And you're just kind of spinning your wheels.
Yeah.
Just spinning. Yeah.
So what about dating another entrepreneur? Entrepreneur, what are the pros and cons? We talked about dating a person with a job. What about two entrepreneurs? I think
that would be amazing because I think it's just so many things that you can bounce off of each other.
Right.
And come up with new ideas and things like that. I think that would be amazing.
A better match.
Yeah, that would be, it depends on the situation, but in my mind, because I'm always thinking like, okay, how can I make this work?
Okay.
How can I, what else? How can I draw off of it?
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. So before we close, take us real quick from start to finish. A day in the life of Tova did it. Now, from the standpoint of the trucking industry.
Okay.
Do you go get it? Like, where do you park it? Do you have to go get it? Do you load it? Like, you got to get online and see what you can bid on? Do you bid? Take us from start to finish. A day in the life of Tova.
A day in the life of Tova. So in the morning, I will get up, get on my computer, and I will look and see whether they have loads on the load board, which is mostly brokered loads. With our stuff is seasonal, so sometimes in the peak season, which begins in like the spring, I have certain direct companies that I haul for, so they will actually contact me. So I can either figure out whether or not it's somebody that I already do business with, and they say, hey, we need this load done. So I decide whether I'm going to get a brokered load or a direct load.
Okay.
And then I get my drivers situated. So I get them first. I have two drivers, so I make sure that I have them straight first. So I'll get the load, whether I go on the load board, and call in their fuel.
Okay.
So I call in their fuel. I don't just let them go willy-nilly with the fuel account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I call it in
you load it
because
up.
I have one place, so I park my trucks in Fairburn.
Okay.
And then I have two in Fairburn, one in Palmetto. So I call in the fuel, and they get their fuel.
Okay.
Maybe they get enough for maybe like 3 days or something.
So far we woke up, we check and see on the load board what's coming and going.
Yep.
So you guys have a database of things that companies need shipped back and forth. So it's not hard to find work.
No, it's not hard to find work.
Okay. Then you got your drivers that you certified, that you got a great relationship with. You see if they're available?
No, they work every day.
Okay, they work
except for the weekends, and then if I have weekend work, that's optional. It's not mandatory.
Okay. We take care of the fuel.
We take care of the fuel.
We don't let them just willy-nilly.
We don't let them ball.
Now, what happens now? Okay,
So
we match everybody up.
Right, so I dispatch them, which would mean me sending them a text with all the details of the load that they're going to do.
Okay.
Which is to and from, what it pays.
Gotcha.
And they go get the load, and so basically throughout the rest of the day, they'll get a text from me, just updates whether or not they're loaded, unloaded, or whatever, going to the next location. So I get them straight, and then if I'm working that day, I'll get my loads together and I'll go do my loads. And everybody goes out, does their freight, comes back in. But if it's a day that I'm not working, I may be looking for new opportunities or conferences or just other ways to expand or get us better paying freight.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Any reason you chose the flatbed over the cargo,
For me, it pays better per mile because
Flatbed.
it requires some physical work. Because what we do, we have to strap it down or chain it down. The other ones where you're saying like vans, they're called vans, the long ones.
Yeah, they're still called vans?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're called vans
Okay.
with just the doors. So it does require some more physical work, and you kind of out in the elements a little more.
So you got to charge more for that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
they pay us more for that. So,
Okay.
and then the heavier equipment, like oversized loads and things like that, which is like the big construction machinery, the really big stuff, those would naturally pay more. But yeah, it pays a little more.
Is the client telling you, so when you go onto the board, is the fee that they're willing to pay there, or you say, I need this much?
It depends. Sometimes the fee is listed there. And then when you do call them, you can negotiate and say, hey, fuel's going up. You watching the news? Like, I need XYZ
Instead.
to haul this load. Or, if it's a hot load, they'll pay you, pay you whatever you want.
Hot load means we need it right now.
We need it right now.
Okay.
It's late. It's, just urgent.
Okay.
So they'll pay more for that. So sometimes it goes back and forth. It depends on what season. Like when the season slows down, the rates go down.
Okay.
Yeah, for us, the rates will go down.
Let me ask you this. How much I need it? How much it costs to get in?
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, like,
you know what? There's different ways. There's different ways
I
and
need a
different
truck.
rates.
Okay.
So and I know a lot of people are like, hey, go out and buy this brand new truck and brand new equipment, but this is just me. Everything is not for everybody, but it has worked for me. So when I started, I got good used equipment. Like it wasn't a brand new 2022 or, 2020 or 20.
20 nothing.
18.
Right. We went back.
So yeah, when I got into it, I got good older model trucks.
Okay.
And with the trucks, what a lot of people fail to realize is that the new trucks are gonna break down like the old trucks.
Right.
So please don't believe that hype, because you still have your truck note and your truck is newer. You have higher truck insurance
parts
and
and
things
everything.
like that. So what I do have right now is good used equipment.
Of course.
Which it was, when I got my trucks, they range from maybe like $10,000 to $16,000.
Okay, that's not
yeah,
bad.
so and I actually got them from an auction.
Okay.
So I took a mechanic and let him check them out, and I did pretty good. Like I have good used equipment.
So Tova, can I do $3-4 grand a week profit?
Oh yeah.
I want to see your face when you and you look like that's nothing.
I'm like, if I drive, me as a driver, and I can just scoot around and do that in a couple of days.
$3-4 grand a week.
Yeah, just scooting around.
Okay.
Like, and
I just want to throw something out there to make sure I got at least five figures.
I'm local. I'm local, so none of my drivers are over the road.
Okay.
So yeah, my drivers go home every night.
Okay.
And but that's what I do. But my drivers, they make a,
Is that my net? Is that my profit or that's my revenue?
So are you talking about my trucks or me? Are you talking about an individual that's saying, hey, I want to drive a truck and I want to own the truck?
Yeah, I just want to own the truck. So I don't want to drive it. I want to own it. Can I bring in $3-4 grand a week, but owning it, and that's after I pay
So
everything?
he may have to go a little further out over the road, but it's definitely possible. Yeah.
Okay.
You can do it. Yep.
Do you have a course or anything that you're working on to teach people how to do it?
I don't have one yet, but I'm working on getting it together.
Okay.
So I do have where I will train my drivers, or sometimes I have people that want to learn how to drive or learn how to do flatbed that haven't ever, gotten any experience, hands-on experience. So
Okay.
I'm willing to do that.
Okay. Well, I'm always looking for another
come on,
way.
That's another episode.
Yeah, that's
another episode.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So look,
that's gonna be fun.
before we get out of here, I want to start something new with you, right?
Okay.
So I got this the Instincts PONDcast, right?
Okay.
Got my prop here in the building. If you had to compare yourself to one animal, what would it be and why?
So I have been told, I've never thought about it, but I have been told that I was like, I think, is it a honey badger?
Ooh.
That's like the thing that goes and don't stop.
All right, and they're vicious and can't nothing stop them.
Vicious and can't nothing. So if I had to think, because I never,
the honey
badger will come and keep coming. From what I understand,
no, you can't stop him. No, seriously, he's unstoppable.
Then I'll take it.
He's unstoppable.
I'll take it.
The honey badger.
The honey badger.
Well, I was not expecting that, but now that I think about it, that's about right. A young lady that's eternally optimistic. Nothing stops her. She's got her own business. She's got several trucks. Talk about the RV real quick. What we gonna do with the RV?
I don't know. We can do something. We can make another. We got like 2 or 3 episodes left in us, Brian.
Okay. All right. Well,
for the RV, whatever.
Whatever.
We can pull it out here. We can take it somewhere else.
Did she say we can pull it out here?
I can drive. You don't get scared. I can come.
No. I'm getting excited.
Yeah.
So how can we make money real quick with the RV?
That's another house.
On wheels.
It's everything in there.
Fully
Kitchen, bath, microwave, stove, shower.
Have you taken it across country? Have you taken it?
My brother wants to go across country, and I think I will when I slow down. It's just gonna take. I'll need like at least 2 weeks.
Okay.
To go like way to Cali and see things and stop and.
We can rent the RV out and let people use it. Careful people, whatever. We got insurance, but that's a money making avenue, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's
okay.
The thing.
She said we got 2 or 3 episodes in us.
Yeah.
What I like about the Instincts PONDcast, I got a lot of business relationships developing. I'm going back to watch these recordings too, so y'all won't renege on these promises.
Brian, don't play with
I'm
me.
just saying.
I'll be like this evening. I'll be like, okay, let me know.
Yeah, pull it out. We need to do something with it.
2 episodes, RV and flatbed. So
let's do it.
Hands on.
Where can they find you? Are you looking for any drivers? Are you looking for, how can we help you? What they need to do? We know you Tova did it.
Yes, so I'm definitely always looking for drivers. So you can find me on Facebook. Tova Reeder, Tova is the first name. Last name is Reeder, Reeder. You can also find me on Instagram at Tova Did It. That's TOVADIDIT.
Absolutely.
I'm on TikTok, but I mean, you can shoot me a message wherever.
Right.
Wherever, however you like to reach me, but I'm always looking for drivers. The drivers, I would like for them to have 2 years of driving experience, preferably flatbed experience, but it's not required.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not mandatory. But please reach out to me. I'm always looking for drivers, and I'm actually now going to get ready to start doing leasing of owner-operators. So if you're an owner-operator, if you're looking for some steady work, steady freight, and you don't want the responsibilities that come along with the trucking, being the owner, some people just want to drive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some people want to drive and they don't want to do the paperwork part of it and, that whole side of it. So if you're interested in that, feel free to reach out to me and we can see what we can put together.
Nice, man. I love it. I'm so proud of you.
I'm so proud of you.
I really am, man. It's a great day to change lives. This is Tova Did It. You are inspiring so many people, not just women, but entrepreneurs in general, and I had to bring you out here for that reason. As usual, this episode was sponsored by Monetize Your Message. We turn trials and tribulations into celebrations and show you how to formulate, market, and monetize your success. Clearly, she's not had that many trials and tribulations because she just does it and continues to do it. And that's the kind of attitude you got to have. So we got another episode in this. We're going to come back and talk about these RVs.
Okay.
All right, man. It's a great day to change lives. Remember, your story belongs to you, but your message belongs to the world. Thank you for joining us on the Instincts PONDcast, the Honey Badger. Whew.
That's me.
Go look it up. Go look it up. They don't play. They don't play. All right, good.